Hey yo, this is Chris, aka Y2J, aka I don't really have a lot of AKs. But hey, yeah, you're listening to the Slide to Floor podcast. And we have a couple things to talk about this week. So be ready for not a crazy long I don't think it'll be a crazy long pod. But the first thing I want to talk about is the Pelicans went 500 within our West Coast trip, which I'm not surprised. Not surprised because we played some trash teams, but at the same time, I'm also happy that we did because now, I mean, obviously the pick is going to be higher, but it also low key I think helped us, even though we did lose to teams that yes, clearly better. The Lakers clearly better, Suns better, obviously, right, and the Clippers beat our tail. But neither here nor there about that one. I'm not even going to talk about that one. But I think that those Jazz games and especially that Kings game, I think it helped us a bit when it came down to just building momentum leading up to those major games, which even though we lost those games, the Laker game and the Suns game were so within reach, especially towards the end of the the fourth quarters. It's just again, teams just have things that we don't. I'm not one of those guys where it's just like, oh, you need shooting galore, but at the same time, we need we need to be better at shooting, and we also need actual centers, like actual big men that are, grown men who get bored. Like we need players like that. I need, I need I need DeAndre Jordan, but like not 56-year-old DeAndre Jordan that we have right now. I need Kevon Looney's, but not 55-year-old Kevon Looney's with no knees like we have right now. Like we need big men that are I jump high, I get bored, I block shot. We need people like that. The closest we got is Misi, and Misi, I mean, he's good. He's shown to be pretty serviceable. Carlo, Carlo is a bit slow. Mentally, he is slow, but he's showing flashes offensively. I think Carlo's biggest issue now is just like he defensively gets so lost, it doesn't make sense. But the thing with him, and I have a theory, and it's kind of like a hot take with him. I th- it's not even a hot take. It's just so obvious when you see him play. I don't. He play. He's obviously a big because of his size. Like he's 6'10", 6'11", and he does regular big things. But there's times where I just look at him and I'm like, does he know that he's a big, like for example, there's just times defensively where like when he is having a good defensive game, he's swatting shots, he's rotating, he's protecting the rim, he's doing everything that you want out of a big. And then the games where he doesn't do that, it's almost as if he just sits there and he's thinking like he's a wing player. He's just on the perimeter and he's just there. Like he's it's like times where it's he just sits there and he's forgetting. Oh, I'm a rim deterrent. I'm here to block shot and get bored. Like he forgets that so much, and he gets lost so many times. But then again, it's that's a lot of guys on this team that just get lost and they forget where they're at. And the amount of times that I sat there and I'm just watching guys like Fears had to tell him where to go, and I'm like, why is Fears telling you where to go on defense? And that's not good because Fears, I mean, he competes on defense, but he's not good defensively. So it's like, why is he telling you this? But neither here nor there on that aspect. But yeah, we surprisingly we were better than what I thought against the actual competent playoff teams. The Suns game we could have won, but a lot of things just went wrong. Uh, well, a lot of things went right, and then things went wrong. Is what I mean about the Celtics. I mean the Suns game. But shout out to the Celtics. Jason Tatum's back. That yeah, they are scary. But side note, um, the Laker game, that was we should have won that, but we didn't. And you know why? Because we went back to 2000s basketball, dead ball era basketball, do him basketball, where it's just like give the ball to whoever and move out the way. And again, this is also why I said in the podcast before, Herb Jones has to go. And the reason why I say that is because there are plenty of possessions, right? Down the stretch where Zion, people sit there and be like, oh, he went AWOL. He went AWOL. He was just doing dumb stuff. He should have kicked it out to Trey Murphy and the other guys. Yes, I agree. But when there are so many possessions where when you see when Zion had the ball in the post, right? If he kicked it out to Trey Murphy, there were times where either the defender just had to run out and he easily would have got a contest up, or Trey Murphy would have had to just punt fake or give the ball up. Punt fake, get the ball up, or he would have just had to give the ball up, period, to Herb Jones, who was standing right next to him in multiple of those possessions, which to me, it's like, for example, I think there was a possession where Zion drove and then three came down and I think Trey was in the corner. I don't know if it was Vando or not. If it was Vando, I already know for a fact. I've seen Vando do some of the craziest things on defense. There is no such thing as a bad closeout with Vando. I don't care what no one says. There's Laker fans that will probably tell you, yeah, as long as he's able to run out and get to it, it's a good enough closeout for him because he's that good of a defender. There were times where Trey Murphy was in the corner or towards the corner, and then they had somebody like Vando or one of the actual good defenders on him. And when Zion would drive, one of them, they would, it either looked like they were fake helping the drive or they would help the drive, but they didn't commit enough to where if Zion did kick it out, Trey wouldn't have had a contest. Like, Trey would have got contested on some of those threes. And I don't think he was shooting, I could be wrong, but I don't think he was shooting that great against the Lakers. And even then, Trey Murphy, sometimes if you just run at him, he'll give the ball up because he's not trying to take a contested shot. And the nearest person was Herb. And Herb Jones I saw a stat where he's one of the worst. I think he's top 10 worst shooters in the league right now, outside of Micah Peavy. Which the fact that we had two of the top 2015 worst shooters in the league on the same roster is pretty bad, especially when you're a team that has guys like Zion Williamson and Derek Queen and the young players in general. It's like you can't have bad spacers around us. And another thing that was irritating me is you just re-signed Bryce McGowan. You saw that Bryce, especially like, for example, the Timberwolves game. He showed up late in that game and he showed that if Herb can't do nothing, I can do something. Like, these guys cannot just leave me open. I think he's close to 40%, or is a 40% three-point shooter. The volume isn't crazy. It's only 3 attempts a game, 3, 4. But again, that's better than Herb freaking Jones right now. And he's not a terrible defender. He's not Herb Jones defender, but I don't care. It's not necessary right now. You need shooters. You need guys that can put the ball in the basket. And he's significantly better at it than Herb. So there were just too many times where I'm just sitting here and I'm saying to myself, why is Herb still on the floor in these closing moments? I get defense. Someone has to play it. But at the same time, you need to score. There were too many opportunities that we missed out on because of the simple fact that he was just on the floor. And yeah, I think that, again, in totality, the West Coast trip, I think it was a success because we're bringing back down that pick. The farther down that pick gets, the better. The less we have to sit here as Pelican fans and worry about, oh, well, we could have missed out on da-da-da-da-da. Listen, I get it, right? I love this draft. Any of these guys in the top 10 would be amazing. You're not going to ever hear me sit here and say with my whole heart and chest out, oh, I don't care about missing out on a top 10 pick. That's stupid. I would never sit there and say that. But what I am going to say is with the circumstance that we have been put in as fans due to our GM's inability to understand the protection of a pick, which I don't get. Joe Dumars ain't been out the league long enough to where he don't understand that concept of protecting picks, especially Troy Weaver. But neither here nor there. I'm at a point now, again, like I said last time. Yes, there are players I clearly want, but as long as that pick goes down, I'm over it. I don't care. Derek Queen, I think it would help him a lot too mentally if that pick isn't crazy high. Because again, if we miss out on a guy, if we had miss out on Cam Boozer, AJ DeMonsta, even Caleb Wilson, I think that would be so terrible for this franchise. Not just because we missed out on prospects that would help change the franchise, but because I think Derek Queen would have to go, and he's a very confident player, but he would have to go a significant portion of his career worrying about having to be better than guys that he probably just won't be better than. So I think it's helping a lot in that sense that we're actually somehow winning games, regardless of how bad the rest of the West is at the bottom, and even these Eastern teams at the bottom. I don't really care. It's just keep winning, finding ways. Heck, even steal some games that you shouldn't be stealing. But as long as we keep on doing what we got to do, it's for the better. Because not only does winning help the development of the players that are younger, it's gonna help build momentum coming into next season, give us an idea about what we should and should not fix, even though we should know what we should have to fix because it's been the same thing since been on the team. But that's another thing. But yeah, and another thing I think we also have to talk about when it comes down to the Pelicans is the Zion interview and the Stephen A. Smith thing. First off, Stephen A. Smith, I do not care about anything that he said. Was he wrong about the franchise being bad? Yes. But you're mad at the fact that a social media team is trolling you. Sir, I get you're old as dirt, but at the same time, that is the point of these NBAs, not even just NBA. If you're a sports social media team, half of the stuff that you post, and the most successful ones, honestly, are the ones that do troll jobs and the ones that are funny. No one cares about them posting promotions. Uh, no one cares about their interviews or whatever half the time. The ones that get the most clicks are the ones that troll the breaks off of each other, whether it be each other social media accounts, whatever is relatively recent when it comes down to social media and current events, even if it has nothing to do with the team, just stuff like that gets clicks. So obviously, right? If you're gonna make jokes about Zion being fat or Zion hiding food, whatever, which I don't, that whole him hiding food under the bed thing is just so weird to me because it's like, I've never heard that. He's the only one I've ever heard talk about that story. And I don't even know if it's a real one, but I digress. But yeah. So it's like, yeah, you literally, you asked for it because, again, you're saying all this weird stuff about our franchise player. And you say that coming off of him finally taking accountability for the things that he did. So why are you sitting here trolling him for the things that he did in the past when he's reconciled it and obviously he's not fat? So it's like, what are we doing here? But yeah, I think it's dumb. But shout out to Zion for finally talking about things that he was dealing with mentally. I take things like that very serious when it comes down to mental health. I also, the whole time when it was happening as a fan, I mean, obviously you get disappointed as a fan when stuff like that happens, especially with the injuries and all of that. And yeah, I would be lying too if I wasn't fed up with some of the stuff. But I was always one of those guys where it's like, bro, like, why are we making like these stupid, like, it's just stupid jokes? Like, I don't, there's just like, I don't care about oh, he's fat. It's like, bro, he's averaging 26. Like, I don't care. Like, his best seasons were when he was quote unquote fat. The issue was he couldn't stay on the floor. And now he's on the floor. So what is there to complain about? And I'm honestly excited because he's going to basically enter into off season, which this is the first time I think he's ever gonna have a full season leading up into the next season where he has no injuries or anything. Like the only thing he would have to worry about, honestly, is just getting better at basketball because the weight loss thing. I mean, just keep it up. He's been doing it the last 2 years, but I think obviously it's become routine, and he probably wouldn't have to focus on it that much. Just maintain. And now he just has to sit here and just work on his game. He's only 25, I think. So I think that's the one thing I don't think people are understanding about this season where it's like, yes, when it comes down to the Zion thing, we have to obviously hold him to a standard, right? But I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm so excited for next season when it comes down to him because I feel like this off season I do think if the maturity and everything continues like it's been showing over the last few years, he is going to go into a monster off season and he might come into next season on another level. And again, I could if it doesn't happen and it blows in my face, okay, cool, whatever. But I am just happy that a guy that people were saying, oh, he probably won't even last a decade in this league because of his weight. And he's lost so much weight. He's done all the little things that he should have been doing, but now he's finally understanding that, I'm a professional. I gotta handle things differently. He's finally practicing, those principles that a lot of these pros teach these young guys. So it's great to see that he finally spoke out about the first 7 years because he doesn't speak that much at all about anything, which is interesting. But again, it's very good seeing that he finally talked about it, and it seems as though he's within the good graces of the media again and a lot of fans. So that's good to know. And another topic that I wanted to talk about today, Duke basketball. Finally, the season is over. We beat the brakes off of Carolina. Kind of depressing though, because geez, bro, if you Caleb Foster and Pat foot injuries, that sucks. And I pray because I haven't seen any updates yet. But I'm praying to the Lord above that Caleb Foster's injury is not bad, because boy, oh boy, if he is injured, we only have one point guard on this roster. And Caden really hasn't had starter minutes like that. And yes, he's a really good backup point guard in my honest opinion. He's been better than what a lot of people would admit. Even though he has in a way been kind of underwhelming, but I think the people that would say that are people that compare him to his brother, because it's like he's not his brother. He's not at all like his brother. But he's been pretty good this year and he's been steady, but now it's kind of like you have to step up. And I think that I think he has it within him to step up and hold it down. But again, with situations like this, you have to sit here and pray he don't get hurt. Because if anything happens to him, we are so out of luck because we have no other point guard. And again, it just comes down to I really hope that Caleb is okay. I really need Caleb to be okay. Um, and Pat, I was honestly surprised that I didn't even know about his injury. I knew about the wrist, but I didn't know that he had a foot injury until today, until literally leading up to the game. So hopefully it's nothing crazy. He didn't have a boot at first, but then the second half I think he had a boot. So that's kind of crazy, but yeah, hopefully he is better. I don't think I think his injury isn't anything crazy either because John did say it was a game time thing. So look, I'm pretty sure he just saw that Malik was going crazy and Malik Brown, one of my bro, he is such a godsend when it comes down to Duke transfers. To me, the only Duke transfer that's better than him is Seth Curry. Malik Brown is one day I'm gonna do a player of the week just so I can solely talk about Malik Brown because oh my goodness, he is one of my favorite Duke players of all time. But that's besides the point. But yeah, he played great today. He was aggressive, which aggressive Malik Brown is scary because he already does everything else on the basketball floor really well, like really great passer, one of the best defenders in the nation, really good rebounder, does all the little things. You can't, if the ball flies near him, do not be surprised if he somehow steals the ball or disrupts the play in some way, shape, or form. But when he's aggressive on offense, it opens up so much. And you saw it tonight where he hit a three because I mean, he can hit them, but he's not a great shooter. But when he takes them, it's like, oh, wow, we cannot let you hit those. And he hit some. I think he hit one or two. And opposing defenses, they got to sit there and worry about him, which opens up so much for the rest of the team when he is aggressive, whether it be, like I said a second ago, taking the open three that they'll give him here and there. Just he's great at cutting when he just cuts. I feel like he doesn't cut enough when he's cutting, when he drives to the basket, just putbacks, tip dunks. I mean, he's really good when he is aggressive, man. He is one of the most. He's an X factor, and he's one of the most underrated players in the country. It's just off of not playing aggressive, but when he is aggressive, he is a nightmare. And I know for a fact Hubert Davis, when he saw that Malik was actually being aggressive tonight, I knew that he was kind of like, man, I wish they had Caleb Wilson just so UNC fans couldn't say nothing. But I do know for a fact Hubert Davis was like, man, we really either I wish I recruited another big and obviously I wish Wilson was back, but I guarantee he's like, man, we needed another big guy out there because he was doing wonders. Cam it's Cam Boozer. I mean, he 20 and whatever the freak amount of rebounds he had. He had some man. That dude is amazing. He's one of the best players in college. He's the best Duke freshman I've ever seen. I just have to come to grips with that. I mean, I've been came to grips with that, but I think to me now, yeah, it's better than Zion. It's better than Zion's year, and especially if he has a great tournament run, it's better than Zion's. But yeah, this Duke team, the ending the year with the ACC, basically the ACC championship for the regular season is pretty dope. I do know that we potentially play Carolina again if we make it past the quarterfinal. Uh, I don't I don't know how Carolina is gonna their season is pretty much over. I'm not saying that we should look past them, but again, I'm not. Honestly, I feel so bad for Carolina, and this is one of the first years I've ever felt actually bad for them. And I'm a Duke fan. I can't stand Carolina, but watching their whole season was literally Caleb Wilson or bust. And watching him get hurt was already kind of like, ugh. But watching them now without him is like, golly. they are so lucky that they even had Caleb Wilson. And honestly, if I'm Hubert Davis, I'm scared because next year's class, I mean, the freshmen, from what I've been told and from what I've even looked so far, they're not this. They don't look nothing like this year's freshmen. And the guys that he get next year, if he has a bad year and he's lucky he got Caleb because he saved him from having a terrible year, I think they would have been terrible if Caleb did not come. If Caleb did, if they don't somehow have a really good year next year, I think Hubert Davis is going to be on the hot seat. And I mean, as a Duke fan, I'd be depressed because I don't think he's a good coach. But I also don't want him to get fired because I mean, listen, he's a black man. I support black coaches. So and again, he's not a bad guy. And you can't blame. I know. I feel bad for people that come into situations where it's like, when you're coming into Carolina, man, you're following Roy Will. That dude has how many championships? He got like three, two, three. Like that is what you're following up. And the start for them was like, oh, they were like, oh my gosh, he retired Coach K. Da, 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 da. It's like, cool, yeah, that's fine, right? The next year, you missed the tournament. You didn't even want to go to the NIT. Like it was that bad of a season. Then you have years where it's like you could have did something, but you didn't, and your roster shows you should have went far, but you didn't. Even last year, they are so lucky that they even made the tournament. The only reason, and I don't care what anyone says, I don't care if it's debunked or not. Call me, say I'm in denial. I think, unless I'm tripping, they had a Carolina guy that was a part of the committee that petitioned for them to be in the tournament. If he was not there, I guarantee nobody in the room would have sat there and been like, yeah, Carolina's a tournament team. Because they weren't a tournament team. They weren't a good team. And again, this roster, really without Caleb Wilson, isn't a tournament roster. They're not a good team. They could, honestly, they could beat us in the ACC tournament, and I would still stand on that statement because they're not a good roster top to bottom. They're just not. And then the young guys that they have, none of them are that, they don't move me. Nothing that they have right now screams, oh, they're going to be great next year. Nothing at all. I'm sorry to Carolina fans. But again, unless these guys that come in next year and you have a great portal show up, Hubert Davis might be on the hot seat because I don't think that they'll be good next year. And I mean, I feel bad for him, but at the same time, forget Carolina. But yeah. Another thing that I want to talk about real quick. I've been watching a lot of the Hornets recently, especially, well, before, I also watched them before they had that win streak, but man, this Hornets team is really fun to watch. They're probably my most favorite team to watch right now because the way that they play basketball is just so fun. Like they exude everything that I like about basketball, they do. And everything that I hate about basketball, they do, but they do it in a way that's fun. And that's why I love this team so much because they're literally everything that you, like I just said, they're everything that you love, that I love about this new brand of basketball. Colin Knippel, one of my favorite, Duke freshmen, loved him at Duke. This year, I think he should be co rookie of the year or just straight up win it, especially if the Hornets just outright make the playoffs. Or honestly, he just might just make the play. And I think he should mess around outright, get it. But he's been amazing, way better than I thought he would be off rip. I thought he could be a 20-point per game guy. I didn't think he would do it off rip, but he's been insanely great, insanely good. Brandon Miller, I did not give up on him. Some people, they were like, I don't know, he gets injured a lot. Some of the shots he takes in, but he's been great. And LaMelo, I think his shooting splits haven't been amazing, but I think he's matured a lot as a player, and I think that this is one of those years where he finally has a group of players that they accept the fact that yeah, you're the point guard. Do what you got to do. We're just here to fill in the gaps. And I mean, you can say he had that the previous years, quote unquote. But with the group of guys that they have now, it's like no one steps on each other's toes. Everyone plays within themselves and within the team construct. Charles Lee, I think he's a really underrated coach, and I used to be hard on him because I just don't like teams that play the Celtics brand of basketball where they shoot a lot of threes for no reason. But he has done a lot of he's done a lot when it comes down to developing these guys and making sure that they play within his style, and his style has really helped those guys a lot. And even with how they've gotten guys that I'm surprised are even this good, like Moussa Diabate, I did not think that he would just be Dennis Rodman 2.0, but I mean, this dude at times looks like he's just such an amazing player. He's just it's and again, if you're a Clipper fan, you're just sitting there like, oh my gosh, we had this guy and we just let him walk. And I don't know what the Clippers didn't see that the Hornets saw, but shout out to the Hornets organization and Kalkbrenner as your backup center, really good backup center. He can even start on a lot of teams too, which that's another thing too. This team has guys that would be rotational guys and even like starters on other teams that are either bad or just need guys that aren't stupid to start. And you couldn't really say that before about previous Hornets teams. A lot of these guys now they're just smart basketball players. Like they just do their job. Like what it one of the things that I think that makes this team as good as they are is the fact that every single night I know what a certain player is going to bring on a daily. And that is not normal because there are so many teams where you don't know what you're going to get out of these guys night in and night out. But when it comes down to the Hornets, especially with their young players, I know what they're going to get out of these young guys every single night. And they're going to play consistent. They're going to keep doing what they do every single night because they know this is how I got into the league. This is how I'm going to stay in the league. And this is how we're going to win games. So shout out to the Hornets, man. I think they're a really good team with a very bright future as long as things keep going the way that they're going. I think they also have like a pretty high pick or so. So if they get lucky, I mean, listen, this team they have a lot of talent as is. But if they hit in free agency and they continue to build on what they're building on now, listen, man, this team is going to be a heck of a watch for the next few years. And now that I'm done talking about the Hornets, the last thing that I want to talk about is football. And there's been some pretty interesting things that happened in football. The Ravens got Max Crosby. Don't know how that happened. I didn't know that the Raiders were even finna trade Max. It makes sense. I mean, about freaking time. But the Ravens getting him is kind of like, okay. Because now if you're the Ravens, you don't have to worry that much about your pass rush, which was atrocious. And which is kind of crazy. Because unless I'm tripping, I don't think that their pass rush before this year, I think the year that they had the number one defense, I don't think it was that bad. I think it was actually like one of the better ones. And it just flipped the script. Like their defense was terrible last year. And I mean, hey, you got one of the best pass rushers in the league. Now all you got to do is just either get some guys beside him or just get some decent enough corners or corners in general that don't get injured, which another issue that they had last year with which I mean, I don't blame you for trying to get Jair. I thought it was a good signing, but boy, did that go wrong. Uh I think guys like I mean Nate Wiggins should hopefully he'll be healthy, but guys like that and Marlon hopefully isn't isn't as bad as when I be watching him. There be times where I watch Marlon Humphrey and I'm just like, what do you do? And then I keep having to remind myself he's good. He's good. It's just me. It's just I just feel like he's one of those players when I watch him he stinks, but everyone else for whatever reason just thinks he's good. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, the Bills I saw they re-signed their center who's I was praying. I was hoping either him or that other guard that they got wasn't gonna re-sign because anyone that's an interior, I don't care. You'd be like, oh, you're a Saints fan. Why would you want Connor? He's a center. Well, as long as Cesar Ruiz is on my team and we have to find another guard because Trevor Penny is gone. Thank God we traded that dude. But yeah, as long as we found another guard or a center to just put on the interior, I don't care. And he was one of those guys where I'm like, hey, maybe we could. Nope, no, that dream died insanely quick. But we can get his interior guard made potentially. But he's apparently one of the top guys, and yeah, I'm not trying to pay an interior guy that much money. But at the same time, when I see what the Panthers did, because they did the same thing, and you see a few years later, well, the next following year, that line they fix it up on the interior, they make the playoffs. Granted, are the Panthers great? No, but it's the NFC South. You just need to be mid at best. So not even mid at best. You need to be trash, but like not like the you need to be the type of trash that in the NFL you literally are the embodiment of any given Sunday. Like if you're that level of trash where it's like, yeah, you stink, but that don't mean that you not gonna mess around and win this game this Sunday. You can win the NFC South. And as long as we're that good, looking at the rest of these guys, they stink. So I wouldn't be mad if we spend a lot of money on interior for the offensive line. But I am mad at the fact I'm not really mad. I've come to grips with this for years because I've been ready for it. But all three at once is insane. Like we could lose Demario, Cam Jordan, and Taysom in the same offseason, and potentially Alvin, because he's been posting some weird stuff on Instagram that might allude to he might leave too. And if we lose all three, potentially all four, I don't know how I'm gonna feel. I literally might just, I might have to find some place in my apartment, tell my girl, don't enter in. Tell her, matter of fact, give her some money just so she can go wherever she want to go. I don't care. I need to be by myself. Play some sad music and shed freaking tears. Because I swear, if we lose all three, the reason why I say all three is because I don't think the Alvin thing is going to happen. But we messed with his contract. We reconstructed it. And there's times when we do that and then the guy gets shipped. So I don't know what we gonna do. But if that happens, I am going to be I wouldn't even want to talk about the Saints at all. Like I would I would be so sick. Like I would be so depressed to talk about the Saints to where if you can't have all your fan favorites leave at the same time, man. I can understand Taysom because he's old, and the Taysom Hill thing was starting to get. The moment that I realized the Falcons of all teams, which he plays great against every single time, started registering his BS, I was like, oh, he gotta go. He gotta go. He gotta go. Demario still was a tackle machine. Was he as athletic as normal? No, but again, he's still one of the best linebackers in the league. Bare minimum, I would want to try to keep him, but again, he's so good that I kind of wanted him to leave just so he can go to a contender. And I mean, you can say the same thing about Cam because Cam had a really good year too. But at the same time, I think with Cam, I mean, you're losing a leader. You're losing leaders regardless. Which the old guard is finally gone, but it's like, golly, like this though. Like, I thought they would at least retire. I don't want to. I don't want to see them in New Jerseys, man. That would just suck. That would hurt. But you got to do what you got to do when it comes out of rebuilding and trying to start something new, man. And it's just the casualties, bro. It's just sometimes, man, when you're rebuilding, there's just certain casualties that happen with it. And losing legends is one of those casualties. And the one I want, like I said, the one I want to keep bare minimum is Cam because Cam does so much for the city. He does so much. I mean, they all do so much for the city, but it's just one of those things where Cam Jordan, I think, has been playing for the Saints since I was in freaking elementary, unless I am tripping. Either elementary or like just started middle. Yeah, I might shit. Like that's just no. No, we gotta keep one of the we gotta for sure keep Alvin. I don't care how bad he was last year. We gotta for sure keep Alvin, just draft Jeremiah Love or whoever. And then with Cam Jordan, bro, what I mean, like, come on now. And it's like you can't lose him and Demario. That's just how I feel. You gotta keep one of the two. You gotta keep him or Demario. If you lose both, I'm sick. That's just Taysom. Listen, some of my favorite Saints games have been watching Taysom have Madden moments against some of these teams. I get it, but at the same time, you're older. You got to go. You've been hurt nonstop. Demario and Cam have been healthy. They've performed for us for the most part. Cam, you could say that he's fell off, but he's still productive and adds to the depth that we desperately need on that defensive front. So we kind of have to keep one of the two. But like I keep saying, we lose all of them. It's just chops, man. It's chops. And then the draft. I mean, I wanted Jeremiah Love, and I do think that we should be able to get him. But after that combine, okay, have fun thinking about that one because he just might. And then the Chiefs, bro. The Chiefs. I hate the Chiefs, bro. They've Sean wanted Mahomes when he saw that he was going to be a generational prospect, and they jumped over us, forced us to get Marshawn. The best thing that could potentially happen out of this, and I know I feel it in my bones after that the Trent McDuffie trade, they might do the same thing for Jeremiah Love. And if he's amazing, okay, cool. But I gotta have an amazing player too. I gotta have a fan favorite. We got Marshawn out of that one. Could we? Yes, we missed out on a Hall of Famer. Yes, but at least bare minimum, I got a player that was one of my one of my favorite players. One of the best corners in the league when he was healthy, and a guy that is probably most likely going to be in the Saints Hall of Fame. If we end up missing out on Jeremiah Love because the Chiefs are going to do what I think they're going to do and jump over us, please let it just be a repeat of that where we get a Saints Hall of Famer. That's all I need. That's all I want. I don't care who it is. It could be Cornell Tate, who I also really like, but I think he might fall because he ran a 4.05, which is another thing to me when it comes down to the combine. I don't care what a wide receiver runs. Can he catch the freaking ball? Can he get open? If Cornell Tate falls in this draft because people are so stupid and care about what a wide receiver runs, have fun because you're going to miss out on one of the best Ohio State receivers. But neither here nor there. But if he fell to us, hey, I want Jeremiah Love more than anyone else. But I'd be happy if we get Tyson. I wouldn't be mad. The only one that would confuse me is if we get the linebacker, which we need linebacker, but we don't need the linebacker that bad. I think Styles is good, but I don't think he's not somebody where I'd sit there and be like, at 8, yeah, let's just reach for linebacker. Like, no, I don't. He could be a Hall of Fame linebacker, potentially, I guess, off of the physicals. And then I would be depressed because, oh, wow, we missed out on a Hall of Fame linebacker. and we just lost Demario. That would be the only way I would be sad if we missed out on that guy, the linebacker from Ohio State. But other than that, the only guys I would really want if Jeremiah ain't there, I would want Bane. One of those ends. Either be Bane or if Arvell somehow fell, he's not going to, but and I don't think Bane will fall either. But if he somehow fell to us, I'd gladly with open arms take him. Caleb Downs, which thankfully that article they were saying about him tearing something in his leg was fake or having a degenerative whatever. Because he was also another guy which they were saying we were going to get because we also need safety depth or safeties in general. Because I like Jonas Sanker, but Caleb Downs to me he could be one of the best safeties ever. So I think that would be a good pick. Any other wide receivers uh, would be good to me. As long as it's not an offensive lineman for the umpteenth time, um, I'm good. I'm good. So yeah, the Saints, we got an interesting offseason. The combine and everything made things even more confusing and potentially more depressing. And again, we're in for a pretty interesting offseason. And we haven't even really, I mean, I think obviously free agency started in a way with the re-signing of guys, but I don't even know who we would even sign in free agency. And we have actual money for the first time in Lord knows how long. So I'm just hoping that everything goes well for us this offseason. Because, I mean, the Buccaneers, they don't look like they're really doing anything. The Panthers, I don't know what they're going to do. The Falcons, I mean, that James Pierce situation is crazy. And their quarterback situation is pretty bad. So it's like, well, you're looking, if as a Saints fan, I'm looking at the division. I'm like, listen, this could be one of those off seasons where instead of it being 27-28, we could do something this year because everyone else is like, I'm not really worried. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about today. Shout out to anyone that listens to the podcast. Shout out to everyone that listened to my first podcast, and shout out to everyone that's listening to this one. My name is Chris, and you're listening to Slap the Floor. I hope you have a good day. I hope everyone's safe. Enjoy your Sunday or whatever day this drops. But yeah, have a good one.